Hey there everyone, how you doing? Welcome to Arsenal Fan TV, and we have beaten Manchester United by 2-1 at their home turf, Old Trafford, and I'm left with an absolutely unreal feeling after yesterday's result. First and foremost, just let me apologise briefly that this review is coming the day after the result. I didn't get in from the game till about, what, 4 or 5 in the morning today, really, so apologies on that front, but what a great game to be at. Honestly, in my time as an Arsenal fan, that has to be one of the best games I've been to. All 9,000 travelling supporters in full voice, emphatic throughout the course of the game. And I would like to say this is a historic result, but the fact of the matter is, it's a big result nonetheless. Regardless of how poor United have been this season, it is a massive result. Whether it will go down as a historic one, you know, we'll look at that come the end of the season, but it is a massive, massive result for us. The fact that we haven't beaten United in so long, and the fact that we've done it, Danny Welbeck scoring the winning goal for us, it was written, it was magical, absolutely surreal feeling on the night. And as well as that, we've drawn Reading or Bradford in the semi-finals of Wembley, so it couldn't really have been a better day for us, an absolutely unreal day. And, you know, maybe it is a historic day, but the fact that we've beaten both United away from home, beat City away from home, yet things haven't gone ideally for us this season in some respects. I mean, we've lost to Stoke away from home, things like that. But we've got to remember that we're getting over that mental stumbling block now. We've beaten both Manchester sides away from home. United, who we never seem to be able to beat, we've got over the hump there. And Manchester City, the reigning champions, we've beaten them at their home turf. This gives me great confidence and belief heading into future seasons that we've now proven that we're able to beat teams of this calibre. And this is not the best United side that we've come up against in recent years. This is a poor United side, a real poor United team. But to be able to beat them away from home, I don't care how poor they were, it just shows a great strength of character. And the fact that we actually put in a very resilient performance shows just how big this result is for us. And hopefully it'll be inspirational for the rest of the season. Hopefully we can go on to win the FA Cup yet again and retain it, should I say. But getting into the team lineup, we started with Danny Welbeck up top ahead of Olivier Giroud, and I think this was the thing that left me feeling a little bit sceptical, but I could totally understand it. And Danny Welbeck arguably didn't have his best game last night. Even though he scored, he didn't really have the best of games. And if I'm being brutally honest, I didn't think he had a particularly great performance. I think there are times when he looks very nervy on the ball. It's like, you know, strikers should be ice cool, they should have ice running through their veins, but he doesn't really seem to have that. Whenever he gets into a chance, he looks very nervous, very tame, and he looks a little bit too much like he's trying to make something spectacular happen, which he didn't really have to in this game. He worked tirelessly though, and you've got to say he did earn his goal, just because he absolutely ran himself into the ground. But I'll get onto that a little bit later. As well as that, we saw Nacho Monreal coming in for Kieran Gibbs. Monreal was absolutely immense in this game. But apart from that, it was a very solid team. We saw Chamberlain start on the right-hand side. We saw Alexis start on the left-hand side. Cazorla and Ozil playing through the middle, with Francis Coquelin playing that defensive midfield role. Things ticked for us in the midfield. It was a sublime midfield performance, in my opinion. Ozil and Cazorla both pulling the strings, and what I liked with these two players is they're not renowned, especially last season, for being defensive-minded players, but Cazorla really did track back, and even Ozil was inspired to do that by Santi Cazorla. In fact, both of these players trying really hard. Every single player worked hard for the team, and I said in the preview of this game that the only way we were going to get something out of this result was if all of the players worked hard. And I was a bit quizzical as to whether Ozil should start this game. I mean, I was thinking maybe we should start one of Ozil or Cazorla, but they both worked tirelessly. They tracked back. When Ozil lost the ball, he went and got it back. Excellent performance from both of those two players. And the defence as well, very robust. I think on the goal that we conceded, it was shockingly poor defending, because Koscielny kind of was to blame for that. No one picked up Rooney, but Mertesacker comes back into the side and actually plays like he's our captain. I thought it was a very good game from him. Bellerin rose to the occasion, was taken off for Callum Chambers. Excellent bit of tactician work there by Wenger, considering that Bellerin, he was being a bit targeted by United, and it was a good decision to take Bellerin off and bring on Chambers for a bit more defensive stability and really freshen up the defence. But overall, a very good defensive display. The only real negative that I want to pinpoint is Szczesny starting in goal. I did say in the preview he should have started in goal, but considering he's just coming back into the team. I don't like the arrogance that he seems to be putting onto the pitch. Things I don't like about his game, his distribution is shockingly bad at times. He plays it straight back to United players when he doesn't have to. He puts our defenders in very awkward situations by passing it and not giving a long ball when he should be doing that. And the thing that really hacks me off the most is these little, where he tries to mug off Rooney or something like that. When the ball comes very close to him, Rooney chases it down and then he tries to take it away from him. Yeah, he did it last night, he did it fine, but he shouldn't do that, because one day it's going to bite him on the back and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Just get rid of it, put in a professional performance. The problem with Szczesny is I think he thinks that he's better than he actually is when he's not. So he's got to really simplify his game, work on his distribution and stop trying to do those little muggy antics that he's doing where he's trying to get the ball away from Rooney. That's got to be completely eradicated from his game. But that's the only real negative that I can take from a very positive performance last night. We started the game off so well in my eyes. We pressurised them from the get-go. We were the team that had the more likely chances. Alexis really pressurising them. And our counter-attacking football was absolutely superb. And what I liked about this most is a lot of people have been saying when we're playing counter-attacking football away from home, Welbeck should start ahead of Giroud. And I think that worked perfectly for us. We burst forward in absolute spells at time. We looked magical going forward on the counter. And we let United have possession. I think that really tells you a lot about what you need to know about United, because they had a lot of possession, but a lot of it was sideways passing. Until the Rooney goal, I can't really visualise a clear-cut chance that United created. It was really until they were under the cosh that they started to put in a lot more chances, a lot more balls into the box. But apart from that, I think we dealt with whatever they had to offer to a very good standard. I think Rooney is a million times more effective as a striker for Man United as he is as a midfielder. Van Gaal is labelled as this tactical genius, but to play what I regard Rooney as a very good striker, one of the best strikers in England in the league, but to play a very good striker who, since he's been returning back into a striker's position, he's been playing well for United, banging in the goals, and he's playing him in a midfield role. I can't really understand that. I think Van Gaal is really getting away with a lot of it at times. I don't really know United's perspective on it, but I certainly do feel that if this was Moyes, God, the scenes would be absolutely unbelievable. It's just because he's going on a record. That's the problem with Van Gaal, if you regard it as a problem. But he is going on former glories, which I don't think is particularly fair. But that's just the way it is in modern football. Going into the rest of the game though, I mean, we got our first goal through Nacho Monreal of all people. It came relatively early on, which was a great time to score. It was excellent work by, first of all, Mesut Ozil, creating a load of space, had all the time in the world, could have driven forward on his own, but he played it into Oxlade-Chamberlain, who had an outstanding performance. This is what he does best. He took on, I think it was Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, and Valencia. Valencia turned his back on Chamberlain. That's absolutely pathetic. And he got around all three of them, played it into Monreal, and it was a class finish by Monreal over De Gea. Coming from our left back to put that into the back of the net. Surreal, absolutely surreal feeling at that point in the game. And for Monreal to score pretty much personifies his season. He's going to keep Kieran Gibbs out of the team because he was great defensively, he was great going forward, put in a really good display, as did everyone in this game, as did everyone. But unfortunately we did concede after the Monreal goal to a Wayne Rooney header. Very poor to concede. We really shouldn't have done that. We should have tied up the game. We should have held on to half time at 1-0, but unfortunately we didn't do that. Di Maria left in acres of space, no one closing him down. That was poor, putting a world-class ball straight to Rooney. Szczesny rooted to the ground and it was 1-1. It's hard to say if United deserved that goal, really. It is, because they didn't really look to create anything before that, but at the end of the day it was 1-1. We went into half time with it being a draw, which was a little bit harsh on us, but you know, that's what you get for poor defending. It was poor defending on our behalf. Koscielny didn't mark Rooney, Mertesacker didn't mark Rooney, but Koscielny, in my opinion, was the guilty party on this goal. But going out in the second half, I thought we looked really good yet again. We again looked like the more likely team to score, and we did that through Danny Welbeck, of all people, making it 2-1. The script was written for this one. It really was. It was an awful back pass from Antonio Valencia, who had a shocking game from a Man United point of view. Plays it back to David De Gea. De Gea couldn't get to it in time. Danny Welbeck plays it through the legs of De Gea and then puts it in the back of the net. An excellent finish, and it's an underrated finish. It was an open net, but he read it perfectly. Absolute class goal by Welbeck. I couldn't be happier for him. He celebrated rightly so against a club that said he wasn't good enough. couldn't be happier for Welbeck, and the ovation when he went off from both Arsenal and United has to be respected. He worked tirelessly in that game, and a real inspiring character, and a great goal that he certainly deserved in this fixture. But the next real talking point is Angel Di Maria being an absolute clown. I mean, how can you justify something like this? First of all, the dive was pathetic, absolutely pathetic from him. Aaron Ramsey flicked him, pretty much, just flicked him with his hand. He goes down like a little girl, and then he touches the referee. 2 yellow cards, can't even complain with that, can't even complain. It was an excellent display from the referee, Michael Oliver. Has credit where it's got to be due. I'm not being biased. These were 2 yellow cards that I think a lot of referees wouldn't have given just because it's Old Trafford, just because it's the league's most expensive signing. A lot of referees wouldn't have done that. It takes guts to do that. It was 2 yellow cards. Di Maria rightly sent off, and then Januzaj comes on and has the cheek to dive again. It resorted to cheating, honestly. But yeah, we've come away with a win at Old Trafford. Absolutely monumental day. 2-1 against, it is a poor United side, but the fact of the matter is we've got over the hump. We've got over that mental stumbling block, like I mentioned, beating both Manchester sides away from home and bringing 9,000 fans to Old Trafford. How many clubs could say they're able to do that? It just shows the stature of this club. And we've now got Bradford or Reading in the semi-final, who we should be beating. Not going to be easy, not going to underestimate them, but we should be having the beating of them. And then hopefully we get to the final and an opportunity to retain this prestigious trophy and win it 12 times and become the most decorated club to win it. But guys, those have been my thoughts on our 2-1 victory at Old Trafford against United in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. If you have enjoyed this video, do make sure to give it a like, rate, and subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, subscribe to my own channel, AFC Game by Game, and I will speak to you very soon, guys.
I thought every man battled and done their bit, and in the end, it's ironic that the man they thought was shit scored the winner.